Can I be honest with you? Sometimes it's not the to-do list or the mess in your home or even the lack of time that's holding you back. It's actually the things that you believe about yourself. The thoughts that run through your mind when you're folding laundry or when the day gets away from you. And those could be thoughts like, I'm just not cut out for this, or I'll never be consistent, or other women in my life can figure this out, but I can't. And so I want to talk about that today because what we believe in about ourselves will become and is the atmosphere that we live in. And if you've been living under beliefs that are keeping you stuck or keeping you feeling discouraged or constantly feeling behind, it's time to start asking yourself, is this what God says to me? Is this God's words about me? Or is this just a story and a false belief that I've been repeating through my head? So in this episode, I'm going to walk you through some of those most common limiting beliefs that I hear women like you say about themselves. And I want to share the truth about those beliefs that are going to help you finally move forward and overcome. So this might be the mindset shift that really helps unlock everything else for you. Welcome to the Modern Homemaker Mom podcast. I'm your host, Jynae Schmidt. If you found yourself here, it means that you're ready to break free from overwhelm, create a peaceful, well-run home, and finally live with more structure, margin, and stability. Here you'll find practical rhythms, real-life systems, and faith-filled encouragement you need to simplify your home and reclaim your time so that you can show up fully for the life God is calling you to. Let's get started. Hey friend, before we dive into the episode, let me ask you a question. What would it feel like to walk into your home and actually breathe? To have rhythms that flow with your season instead of fighting against it? To feel steady, clear, and confident in the role God's already equipped you for? That's exactly what I help you create inside the Modern Homemaker Method course. And right now, the best way to step into that transformation is by joining my VIP waitlist. Here's why you want to be on the list. VIPs get first access when the course reopens. They get the only discount that I'm offering and special bonuses you're not going to find anywhere else. But more than that, this is your first step toward a simpler, more peaceful home and a life with margin, clarity, and energy again. So if you're ready to trade survival mode for steady rhythms that honor your season and your God-given design, head to jynaeschmid.com/waitlist or click the link below in the show notes where you can become one of my VIPs. Proverbs 23:7 says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Now that tells us that what we believe about ourselves shapes the choices that we make, it shapes the way that you show up in life, and it shapes the story that you live out. Now, if you believe that you are failing in your homemaking, in motherhood, in marriage, you'll see every single small mistake that comes up in life as proof to that. You are literally going to be looking for the negative things. And if you believe that you are not consistent, you're going to keep holding yourself back. You are not allowing yourself to get better because you keep telling yourself that you're not good at it. But if you can shift your mindset to align with God's truth about you, that is when your actions start to align too. And I want you to know this is not me standing on a soapbox. I am sharing this episode and the topic today because it's something that is really close to me because I'm one of those people that I constantly have to be reminding myself of these exact things because unfortunately, I tend to be a glass half empty kind of person. I'm going to just admit that right now. And so I have to remind myself and I have to be diligent and I have to seek the good and the positive. I'm not saying I never see the positive, but I have to really be intentional about it. And one of the best ways that I find to overcome a lot of that negative beliefs about ourselves, about our situation, about others, is to really dive into scripture and really focus on those Bible promises. And when I have done this in my own life, I know it's really, really helped me and it's really helped me move forward. So today is not going to be about me sharing homemaking tips or productivity hacks. It's about clearing out that mental clutter because we all have mental clutter, and a lot of the time the physical clutter is actually just there because it is a reflection of the mental clutter that is circling on through our heads. And so we are going to look at some of this mental clutter and replace it with God's truth. So the first lie that many stay-at-home moms believe about themselves is, I was never taught how to do this. Now, you may have grown up in a home where the cleaning, the cooking, the routines, the housekeeping rhythms, they weren't really modeled for you super well, or maybe they were done with this sense of control or resentment. Maybe you had a mother who grumbled a lot when she was doing the house chores, or maybe there was just a lot of chaos involved around all of this. So now here you are as a wife, as a mother, a homemaker, you're embracing this role, and you feel like you were maybe thrown into the deep end. And it's really easy for you to feel ashamed about that, or to think, well, I should know how to do this by now. Like, this should be just common knowledge. This should be common sense kind of things. Or you might start thinking, everyone else has it figured out. I'm just behind. Why can't I figure it out myself? But here's the truth from this negative belief that I want you to replace this with. Homemaking is a skill, not an instinct. And just like any other skill, if you want to become a carpenter, if you want to be an electrician, if you want to teach elementary school, if you anything, you have to learn those skills. We don't just come into this world and instantly are geniuses. Like, babies can't build furniture and so on and so forth. So skills have to be learned, and it takes time to learn skills. Now, I actually dive deeper into this topic specifically in episode number 52. So definitely add that one to your listening queue if you want to take this a little further. Now, the second false belief that many of us believe as stay-at-home moms, homemakers, is, I'm just not cut out for this. Now, this belief sounds harmless, but it's actually very deeply discouraging because it creates this quiet belief in your spirit, like you're just always going to be the scattered mom. You're putting that label on yourself, the one that can't keep up, the one who's not like other women. But the struggling doesn't mean that you're not called to this. In fact, all of us as women are called to this beautiful role. It just means that you've been trying to run someone else's rhythm. When you start aligning your days with your real season of life, with the capacity and the God-given design, the feminine, beautiful design that God gave you, you start to see that. Now, God equips the called, not the other way around. He doesn't call the equipped people. He equips the people that he calls. You don't need to become somebody else to be good at homemaking. You just need a structure that reflects who you are. And I teach my students how to do that in my course, Modern Homemaker Method. So if that's something that you would love to learn more about, the course is there for you. Now, negative belief number 3 is, if I can't keep up, I'm failing my family. Have you ever thought about that? Has that thought ever circled through your mind? This one really hits hard because it's rooted in love. Like, there's love behind this. You really want to serve your family well. You want to give them a home that feels very stable, that feels very nurturing, calm. You want it to feel clean and organized. But somewhere along the way, you linked your worth to the state of your home. And now every time that laundry piles up, you fall behind on dishes, that guilt and shame starts creeping in. But this is what you need to remember. You are not failing. A peaceful home is built through consistent stewardship, not constant hustle. If you ever find yourself running through your days in this state of rush, in this state of hurry, you're probably not doing it the way that God designed you to do it. God designed us to go through our days in a natural flow, in simplicity. He didn't call us to hurry. He called us to steward well. And stewarding well does not mean rushing through the day or just getting through the chores and going from one task to the next. It's about being present, being intentional. And just because you have those days that feel off, or it feels like something's not working right, or you just can't keep up, we all have those days. And I think something that we don't do enough as stay-at-home moms is give ourselves enough grace. I mean, how much grace do we give to our children and our spouses? And how much patience do we practice with them? So much. So I think it's really important to remind ourselves that we deserve that same thing. We deserve to give ourselves patience. We deserve to give ourselves grace and say, you know what? It's okay to have a bad day. You can always reset tomorrow. You can even reset that same day. You can start over, take a deep breath, maybe spend some time with God in prayer, or turn on some worship music. I mean, for me, if I'm having a bad day, sometimes all I need is a small reset. And that could look like turning on my worship music playlist, spending 10 minutes just giving the house a quick tidy, quick reset. And, it's just the simple things. It's not about, oh, I need a reset. We're going to deep clean the whole house for me to feel better. No, it's just in the small things. What's most important is that you're showing up, you're doing your best, and you're doing it with a good attitude. Now, the fourth negative belief that stay-at-home moms believe about themselves is, I will never be consistent enough. Now, have you ever set a goal or missed a few days and then you completely gave up on it? And maybe you thought because of that, you weren't disciplined enough. Or worse yet, maybe you thought that something was wrong with you. But here's the truth that we're going to flip for this. Consistency is never about messing up. It's about returning back to it. Consistency is choosing to start again, to begin again. It's showing up imperfectly, but faithfully. My husband and I are right now going through The Chosen, the TV series The Chosen. We started watching it recently and we absolutely love it. So if you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend it because we love it. But something that really stands out to me as Jesus called the 12 disciples is he called everyday normal men. Like he did not call these amazing men that were great in the ranks and high in stature and all of that. He called regular men just like you and I. And I think that is a really good perspective that even in our homemaking, you do not have to be this perfect person that has it all together, that never makes a mistake. God calls you as the person that you are to step into this role, to hold his hand along the way because he's there to guide you. And I just think that's really beautiful. You don't need to become more consistent. What you need is to build rhythms that are realistic for your life, not rhythms that, they look good on paper, but they actually don't really work for the season of life that you're in, for the toddlers and the babies and the homeschooling. There's rhythms out there that work for some people, but they don't work for you. So you need to get that rhythm that works for you, that's realistic for you in all seasons of life that you go through. And that's what my course is designed to help you do. Now, line number 5 is it has to look perfect or it's not worth doing. Who are my perfectionists out there? I am definitely a perfectionist myself. Perfectionism sneaks in wearing these clothes of productivity. We tell ourselves, if it's not perfect, it's not worth doing. For example, you might delay decluttering your pantry because you don't feel like you have a full afternoon to do it. Or you avoid starting a new rhythm because you know you're going to miss a day. But the truth is, rhythms are about function, not aesthetics, not about being perfect. A home that works for your family is already a success. It doesn't have to look perfect. It doesn't have to look Pinterest worthy. It just has to serve the people who live in your home. And when you let go of that perfection, and I know this is so much easier to be said than done, but you are going to be shocked at how much progress you start making. Moving on to line number 6, 3 more. If I slow down, everything will fall apart. Or if I have one off day, I'm not going to be able to keep up with it. Now, this belief often shows up in the moms who are always in that go, go, go mode when the idea of rest feels dangerous or even irresponsible, selfish, lazy. But that belief is honestly, I'm just going to say, it's going to burn you out. The truth is, God created you to work and to rest. Margin is not the enemy of order. It's actually the protector of it. And interestingly enough, when we actually prioritize rest and restoring our own needs, nurturing ourselves, it is going to make us more productive. And not that it's always about productivity, but what I'm saying is when we rest and we refuel ourselves, we refuel our families, we allow our families to rest, we allow ourselves to rest, we will be able to show up better. When you create that space to breathe, to reflect, to pause in your days, in your weeks, in your months, you actually return stronger, more clear-headed, and more rooted in peace. You are more stable. And that's why I teach rhythms that include rest in my program, because it's part of stewardship and stewarding our homemaking, our lives, our homes well. Now, lie number 7 that many stay-at-home moms believe about themselves is other women can do this, but I can't. Now, comparison is just a liar. And social media, oh my goodness, Social media is terrible for this. You see other moms doing things that you wish that you could, or it looks like their kids are just always so well behaved, or they got the night schedule for their newborn figured out so early and so well, and it's just working for them. And you assume that they're just wired differently, that it just works for them, but it's not working for you. But what you're actually seeing on social media specifically is a highlight reel of someone who may have just had a better framework or more support. Or maybe they were showing a glimpse of 5 minutes in their day, the only 5 minutes that was really good that day, but they actually really struggle behind the scenes. We cannot compare ourselves to what we see on social media because it's just a highlight reel. We are not airing our dirty laundry on social media. We are sharing the parts of life that we love, that bring us joy. And so it's dangerous when you get caught in that comparison trap. And I am one of those people that does get caught in the comparison trap. And I often have to remind myself that, you know what, maybe in this time, in this season, when I really start getting caught up in that and it kind of starts bringing me down, I take a step away. I remove Instagram from my phone and I'll take a break. I'll take a couple weeks off. I've even taken a couple months off, and I always come back feeling better. And during the time away, you start to look at your life with a different lens because you're no longer comparing. You start becoming more grateful for your own things in your own life because you're not constantly being shown other people's highlight reels, you know? Now, our final lie that I'm going to go over today, lie number 8, if I take time for myself, I'm being selfish. We kind of touched on this one briefly in another point. But this is what I want to end with because it's one of those beliefs that keeps so many moms constantly feeling depleted, constantly feeling like they have no energy for anything. Now, if you feel guilty about taking a break or even investing in support for yourself or asking for help or finding a better way to doing things, like my course that I've been talking about, if you would feel guilty to invest in something like that, you've probably internalized the lie that motherhood means that you just have to constantly be sacrificing of yourself. But the truth is, caring for yourself is how you are able to properly care for and steward your home well. It's how you are able to create that life-giving home. Because when you steward your body, your emotions, your mental health, your energy, your time with God, you are pouring into the heart of your home. In last week's episode, we talked about how mothers are the heart of the home. And the home is just a reflection of the woman, the mother. You are the atmosphere setter. You matter. And taking care of yourself matters. And your home will run stronger. It will run longer. It will run more peacefully. It will bring more stability to you and your family when you are cared for and nurtured as well. Now, these mindset shifts that we went over today, they're not just mindset shifts, they're actually identity shifts. Because when you start replacing these lies with truth, you don't just start to feel better, you start to actually live differently. You show up with more clarity, with more peace, with more confidence in yourself, in your home, in how you go about your day. And your home will begin to reflect that. Now, as your homework, I have a fun little homework piece for you today. After today's episode, this is the one action step that I want you to do. I want you to get out a piece of paper or a journal, and I want you to write down 3 to 5 limiting beliefs that you specifically have caught yourself thinking, especially those that surround your role as a homemaker or as a mother or as a wife, how you care for your home or how you see yourself showing up in the home. Then underneath each of those lies, I want you to write a truth that reflects what God actually says about you or what you want to start believing instead of that lie. This isn't about getting the wording perfect. I don't want you to get caught up in that. It's about getting honest with yourself and then inviting God's truth to speak louder than the fear and the limiting belief that you keep telling yourself. Because if you do not name that negative thought, you are going to keep living under it. But when you flip the narrative, that's when you begin to shift everything. And the positive mindset shifts are often how you can take the first step in the right direction. Now, to bring this episode to a close, let's quickly recap a few things. Number 1, you don't need a perfect past or a perfect upbringing. You just need a fresh start. Struggling doesn't mean that you're not equipped. It means that you are ready for a better way. The most powerful shifts in your home will always start in your mind with your mindset. We don't want to always be focusing on the negative. We want to focus on the positive and train our minds to look for the positive instead of always seeing the negative. Peace in the home, peace in you, peace in your family begins when you believe that it's possible for you as well. You have to believe it. You have to want it. Truth is available. You just have to choose to believe it. We have to choose to see the good, choose to see the positive. Now, one final reminder is I want to invite you to join the VIP waitlist for the Modern Homemaker Method. Throughout the episode, I've been lightly talking about my program, my course, Modern Homemaker Method. That's where I go deeper into all of this: mindset, rhythms, stewardship, getting in line with your God-given feminine design, all of that inside a full step-by-step framework. My VIPs get exclusive bonuses and the only discount I offer when the course opens again. So to join the list, you can head over to jynaeschmid.com/waitlist or scroll down to the show notes below this episode and the link will be there for you. I would love to see your name there when the doors open to the course really soon, because I know that if you are serious about making your homemaking simpler and looking for that lasting change in a positive way, the program is going to help you in ways that you didn't realize that you needed and ways that you didn't even think was possible. Okay, that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to follow the show and share this episode with a friend. I'll see you for another one next week, same time, same place. Did something in today's episode encourage you? If it did, would you take a minute to hit subscribe and leave a quick review? It's such a simple way to support this show and help other homemakers find this encouragement as well. And if you're looking for even more support in your homemaking journey, come join our free Facebook group. Just head over to bit.ly/home routines. Thanks for tuning in today. I'll see you in the next episode.